And here we are, everybody. Look, I've got to tell you, I don't know how you guys feel about it. Well, actually, I do know how you feel about it. You have given us so much feedback about these master classes that we are hearing, that you guys are digging these things. We are definitely fans of the master classes. Everything to food or recipes or results or the program or mindset or goals or anything relative to living fully alive, living longer, living better. I mean, it's just about the entire concept of fully alive nation, right? And every time, so in Warrior Den, for those of you that are licensees with our company, you know how in Warrior Den, Sandy in every single Warrior Den says, oh my gosh, we have got a jam-packed meeting and this is just amazing content. And she says, I really need to think of a better way to say that. I feel the same way about master classes. Like every single time I come into a master class, I want to go, oh my gosh, I can't even believe how great today is going to be. This stuff is so good. Because every time I go through the prep phase for these master classes, I just am kind of awestruck with the quality of the content and how much it helps people. So today we're talking about three-step meal prep. Three-step meal prep. So what does that mean? Well, very simply, it's this. There are three kinds of people in the world that are going through learning a new lifestyle of eating, learning a new lifestyle of behaving, following a diet, following an eating plan, any of the above. There are three kinds of people. There are people who love to cook. They love recipes. They love playing with those things. They love putting them together. That really feeds them. It fuels them. There are those people. And those people who love that art of creating that thing, they're usually pretty okay with that 4.5-hour meal prep on a Sunday, which, you hear about that when you're going into a new plan. They say, look, if you really want this to be effective and you want to be efficient, you'll take your Sunday afternoon. It'll be so fun. And you'll do it with somebody you care about. It'll be wonderful for 4.5 hours. In case you're not picking it up, I'm not that person. I am not that person. For 4.5 hours on a Sunday, I want to be on my boat. I want to be in the sun. I want to be hanging out with people I love. I don't want to be prepping food. But the one kind of person loves that. Now, there's this other extreme, in case you're not picking it up, I'm one of them, that says, look, I want this simple. I want this easy. I want this 5th grade understandable. And I really don't want to take more than about 20 minutes because I'm busy and I want to enjoy the time of eating with someone I love. But I don't really want to go through this whole big, huge meal prep thing. Now, there are people in the middle. There are people that, and I'm kind of become one of these. In the last several years of my life, I have built friendships, tight friendships, with people who love the art of creating meals. They love the art form, I keep calling it that, of creating the food, the meal. And I've learned to fall in love with it with them. But what I've learned about myself is I want to do it with somebody. I don't really see it as creating an art form and all that if I'm by myself. Then I want that 20-minute, give it to me in 3 steps. Let's make this quick. I'm not investing 4.5 hours on a Sunday. As we were talking through this, Beth says, I'm actually all of them. So, okay, you're 4.5 meal prep girl, but you're also 20-minute meal prep girl. Tell us more about that.
Well, I do like to cook. I mean, and sometimes it's about, just I'm both people, because on a winter Sunday, I'll take a few hours and prep for the week. But what I have found is, as schedules get busy and everything, that it's so much easier to do like a 20-minute meal as well. You kind of get the same result in that you are prepped and you aren't spending that time on where you could be on your boat or out at the beach or whatever. So I really am that kind of middle ground. And I laugh when I talk to you about it, because I know we talked about from way back, you used to have like a list of food that you had on your fridge. I thought that was so neat back then when life wasn't as fast, I think. But life is quick for a lot of us, even though we might be at home, working from home and things like that, but it still takes, you still have to eat, right? So we've come up with something pretty cool today, I think.
So let's give you guys a little tiny peek behind the veil. What Beth is talking about, and we've known each other for years, decades. So she's been in my house many times, and spent the night many times, and was there while I was raising my children. And look, I like to figure out ways to make life simple so that I can enjoy it, so that I can be productive with my business. I mean, there's a lot going on with this Donna Kretsch thing, right? So I created a huge list. It was just a huge list, an exhaustive list as best I could come up with of different meals that I could create. And they hung on the side of my fridge because I really wasn't that person to wake up in the morning and go, gee, what do I want to make today? Let me go to the grocery. I just wanted to be able to look at the list and go, I think this is going to be this week's meals, and just bam, bam, bam. So it hung there for years. It hung there the entire time I was raising my children, actually. It did. It hung there for, well, maybe 15 years. I don't even know. And I used it as a resource all the time. So as Beth and I were planning today, I said, okay, look, there's training out there that's wonderful for that 4.5 hours on a Sunday. Plan all the meals, have all those containers stacked in your refrigerator that look exactly the same. They're all lined up. They have the same food in them. And that works for some people. That doesn't really work for me. Now, again, I said, I end up in the middle if I've got somebody to cook with and we're enjoying each other and we're laughing and then, okay, fine, but not in the summertime, maybe in the wintertime, maybe. I think that what we've put together for you guys is something you're going to absolutely just love. Because here's the deal. In 20 minutes a day or less, you're going to be able to create something from scratch that's so good for you, that tastes so delicious. And guess what? It's 2 meals, 2 different meals, not 2 of the same meal where you make your chicken and you're going to put your salad with it and you're going to eat that twice. No, not at all. So the way this is going to work, this is totally different than the 4.5 hours on a Sunday thing. The way this is going to work is in 20 minutes, at the end of the day, when it's time for dinner, you're going to prepare something. And that something is going to turn into something absolutely decadent that makes your taste buds explode for dinner that night. And you will also already have another meal planned. Done. Ready. So that other meal might be lunch tomorrow, might be lunch the next day, might be dinner 2 days from now, whatever the case might be. But get this. What we're going to have accomplished by the time we're done in this masterclass, ready? It's real time. So you're going to have 8 meals for this week that you don't even have to think about. We're going to talk about today what to make for dinner tonight. Now, don't go panicking like, oh, what if I don't have the stuff? Well, it's okay, because we're going to give you 4 different bases to work with. So you've got something to work with for tonight. Now, we're going to start with ground turkey. But if you don't have ground turkey and you've got steak, or if you don't have steak and you have chicken, or whatever, run out and get it. We're going to talk about tonight's meal being awesome. Worst case scenario, you start tomorrow. The training is still the same. So we are elated at what we have to give, what we get to give to you, what we have for you. 8 different meals, 4 different prep times, 1 a day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You end up with 8 meals. And it's not boring. The meals are delicious and good, clean food that's so healthy for your body, but you're not bored. So often we're bored eating the same thing over and over again. And again, I know that there's some credit that goes to that 4.5 hours on a Sunday thing, but that is boring to me to have to eat the same things. I'm going to start feeling like eating healthy doesn't taste good. And eating healthy can taste fabulous. You just need to do it correctly. So 3-step meal prep is very simple. Step 1 is plan. Step 1, can you turn it? Yeah, thanks. Step 1 is plan. Step 2 is process. Step 3 is complete. So you're going to plan your recipes and your food. We'll talk about that in a second. Then you're going to process the prep and the cooking. And then you're going to complete by enjoying a fabulous meal and allotting, or whenever you're going to have that next meal. Now again, 20 minutes max You get to enjoy this process of creating, but it's quick. It tastes amazing, and you've already prepped for another meal. You're not bored, and you don't have to invest 4.5 hours every weekend to get this done. I think you guys are going to absolutely love it. So 3-step meal prep. And I have an amazing gift for you before Beth starts talking. The amazing gift is this. If you know someone, you care about someone who you know would benefit from this content, they can go to 3stepmealprep.com and they can let us know who they are, and they can watch this as well at any time. So 3stepmealprep.com, and you can share this with whoever you want to share it with. And we're really excited that our content is outstanding, but we're really excited about having more and more people benefit from our content. So 3-step meal prep. Beth, we got plan, we got process, we got complete. Ready, set, go.
Okay, so I did make a little PowerPoint. So we're going to share that with our 3-step meal prep.
No big deal.
And Donna just went over with you plan, process, complete. What we want to do is we're going to start with one particular thing, your main food. Then, we plan the recipe, kind of think about what you want. Donna's covered that already, the main food. And then we'll talk prep and cook, and then eat and a lot, just like Donna said. So our first thing that we're going to start with is ground turkey. So you've got ground turkey in your fridge, or you've got it thawed from your freezer, or you went out and you bought it fresh. And we're going to do 2 things with the ground turkey. So to begin with, we want to start with a simple seasoning. This is right in your cookbook that came with your kit.
Hey Beth, can I interject something really quick?
Sure.
Do you have the tomatoes next? Is that what you have next?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so let's step back a second, because you and I have had a lot of conversations about this, and I don't want to assume ever that somebody gets what we're saying. So guys, step 1 is plan. What that means is you are going to think about what recipes, there are 2, what recipes you're going to enjoy from this particular food. There's 1. So you're going to think about what recipes, there are 2, you want to create, and what food you will use. There is 1. So what you're doing is you're going to be creating a taco salad. Is that correct, Beth? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
And then
1.
you're creating a stuffed tomato. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That's 2.
So now again, we're just taking you through this. I mean, I know it would be amazing, right? If you had 30 days of this, it would be for me. Like, I like checklists. Tell me what to do. But right now, we're literally taking you through this process. So, again, if you had 30 days worth of meals to just choose from, we're just doing the work for you right now. So you're thinking about what recipes to enjoy, and that's not really in front of you right now. So you want to enjoy taco salad. You want to enjoy, can you go to that slide just real quick, Beth, so folks can see?
Which one?
The tomato. Okay, so again, if you guys had 30 meals in front of you and it was broken up with like turkey and then chicken and then fish and then, steak, you would look there and go, ooh, that sounds good. I'm going to make 2 recipes from ground turkey. I'm going to make 2 recipes from fish. I'm going to make 2 recipes from chicken. So you would think about what 2 recipes do I want to enjoy? Therefore, what 1 food do I need? Okay, so we kind of jumped ahead. I apologize for that. So the 2 recipes that we've decided to enjoy are taco salad, right? And stuffed tomatoes. So the 2 recipes we want to enjoy are taco salad and stuffed tomatoes. So that's the 2 recipes. Okay, what food do we need? Ground turkey. So that is the completion of step 1. That was it. You're looking at the idea of what you want to eat. You're thinking about what you want to eat. And you're picking 2 recipes and 1 food. That is all that is involved in step 1. So obviously now you're going to go to step 2, which is the process step, and you're going to prep and cook. So that's where I believe, Beth, you were at.
That's where my brain went. So yeah, you know what you've got, and now we're going to be kind of creative so that you aren't just eating the same food all week for lunch or the same food all week for dinner. And that's what a lot of my people that I talk to or coach, they tend to say, well, I'm just eating, unstuffed cabbage soup all week. Like that's my food for the week. We want to break that cycle because your body is going to react better to variety. So this is a simple idea that you can use in a couple places and not get that kind of plateau effect of eating the same thing over and over. So we start out with a base of just the simple taco season ground turkey. And you're going to use the seasoning right out of the book. And you're going to take that 97 or 99% lean ground turkey and put it in your skillet, whether it is a cast iron or, stainless steel or nonstick. Get that in your skillet, cook it down until it's completely cooked, and then drain any excess liquid. If you're using the 99 lean, you probably won't have much of anything. And then add that taco seasoning in there, let that cook down, let the flavors come together. And then from there, you have your ground turkey meat ready. Like it's ready to be used for dinner tonight and then maybe lunch tomorrow. So with that, you can go into making the taco salad. So that simply would be adding the seasoned ground beef to whatever greens that you want to use. If you're going to use like a nice crispy romaine, if you're going to go with like a mixed green, and from there with your ground turkey still warm, you can put that on your taco salad. You can add in cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, whatever it is your ground turkey, that seasoned ground turkey, that's your protein. So depending on where you're at in the plan, it might be 4 to 6 ounces. It might just be 4 ounces. Add your vegetables. Remember, for our in 30-day people, you've got your measurements for your ground turkey and for your lettuce and vegetables. Same thing with our Listen to Your Body people. They've got different measurements as well. So you follow what is on your plan and make your ground turkey taco salad. From there, your next meal tomorrow, let's say for lunch, you have tomatoes, maybe they're in season. If not, they're always available in the store. To take a good beef steak tomato and cut the top off and hollow out the inside. Keep the tops, don't throw anything away. Hollow out the inside. Take your seasoned ground turkey, that yummy taco seasoned ground turkey. It's full of flavor, and you can put that inside, throw it in the oven. Once you put it on parchment paper so it doesn't stick, I always like to use glass baking dishes, and you fill it, put it in the oven, bake it for 30 minutes at 350. It's going to get really concentrated tomato flavor, so it's going to get really deep flavored. The taco season meat is going to pick up with the tomatoes. You're going to put that top back on it, so it's just going to cook down, and it only takes a little while for it to get really flavorful.
So amazing training, you guys, right? So important that you think about the 2 recipes you want and the 1 food you need, plan step, so that you can prep and cook. So what you want to realize is that with deciding to have the taco salad and the stuffed tomato, the prep and cook part is the same, because the taco seasoning is what you're using in the ground turkey, and that's what's going to end up in both recipes. So again, Think of the recipe. There are two. Therefore, what food? There is one. Then prep and cook. The prep, this is why you can do this so quickly, is the same. You're prepping your ground turkey with the taco seasoning because it's the same. Then you're cooking the ground turkey, as Beth did an amazing job telling us about. And then, step 3 is complete. Well, that's when you eat in a lot. So you eat in a lot. So at the end of the day, when you've prepared this meal, and whichever one you decide to have first, you have first, stuffed tomato or the taco salad. You sit there, you enjoy your meal. You're letting that meat cool down because you don't want to put that hot meat in the fridge, right, Beth?
Correct.
So we enjoy our meal, and then we go back when our meal is over. We're going to clean up our kitchen anyway, load the dishwasher and all that stuff. We go back now and we put the food into its allotted container. And, maybe you'll decide what meal you're going to have it for. Maybe it's tomorrow's lunch. Maybe you won't decide that yet. Now, depending upon what the recipe is, you might just put that extra prepared ground turkey in a container by itself in the fridge. Depending upon what recipe you are creating, you might mix together the rest of the ingredients and put that in the fridge. But it's done. It's ready. And the neat thing, I know I keep saying this, and just forgive me if this seems overbearing, if that's how I come off to you. I am only repeating this over and over again because it's so important. Our heart's desire is to see you guys hit your goal and learn a new healthy lifestyle. And boredom is the number one reason, besides not starting, it's the number one reason people don't achieve their weight loss or their wellness goals. And then in addition to boredom, it starts feeling hard. And if it's not feeling difficult, then you'll achieve the goal. And so that's why I usually tend to drive home my points when I'm teaching. So again, I'm going to do it one more time. Step 1 is plan. You're planning your recipe, 2 of them. You're planning your food, 1 of them. Step 2 is process. So that's prepping the food. It's just prepping the food. It's always going to have the same seasonings because you will have chosen 2 recipes that have the same seasonings in the food. Then you cook it. And then step 3 is you complete it. And that means you eat and enjoy, and then you allot. So, Beth, you did an amazing job talking about ground turkey. Tell me, before you kind of go to it, what are the next 2 recipes? Again, if we had 30 recipes in front of us, that'd be awesome. What are you're gonna choose maybe under chicken?
Yep,
You're gonna
chicken
choose?
it is. And you guys, chicken doesn't have to be dry or kind of boring or bland. You can really make it super moist, super fast. My favorite thing to do is just bake it in the oven, but it's always super moist when you do it in a little bit of chicken broth. So if you can take some low sodium chicken broth or no sodium and just put a little bit of that in the bottom of the pan, your chicken will literally melt in your mouth. And that makes you not get bored with chicken. By the end of 30 days, a lot of people are like, oh, if I had to eat another piece of chicken. Yeah. But this makes it where it's really versatile. You're going to be able to use it in a lot of different dishes, and it's not going to feel like I eat more chicken. So that's where the basic is the chicken, and then you can always add some different things with it. But today we're going to use kind of our classic Italian seasoning, which is just you can make an Italian seasoning with some basil and oregano, rosemary, parsley, thyme, a little chili flake, a little garlic powder. You can buy a classic Italian seasoning already made. You don't want something that has salt in it. And this is like the absolute most simple thing you can do. You take the chicken out of the package. I rinse it off. I put it in the glass baking dish. It's just a little 5x8, 2 chicken breasts fit in there because you've got 1 for your meal now, 1 for allotting later. and you throw it in the oven at 425 for about 20 minutes. Your best friend is the meat thermometer. When that chicken gets up to 165 degrees, it's done. If you let it go higher, you are going to get drier chicken just because you're overcooking your food. So if you learn anything on top of our 3 steps today, it's use your meat thermometer and know what temperature. So chicken, 165, it will be tender, moist. It will taste good because you've got those great seasonings on top of it. And while that chicken is in the oven, it's a great idea to take like your asparagus and put it in the same type of container, put a little chicken broth in there, and cook that asparagus. Now the asparagus is going to have that great asparagus, but it's also going to have that great chicken kind of flavor. And now you have your base, which is your chicken. You've got your vegetable. So tonight's dinner, or the night you're making this, that would be your chicken and asparagus, and it'll all have great flavor. And then you are going to have some leftover chicken for your next meal that you're going to put in the fridge.
So let's step back a second. I'm realizing something as we're going through this. In the plan phase, I'm saying, think about the recipe you want. Actually, since we're making the same food for 2 meals, we should really probably think about the food we're going to start with first. That makes more common sense for the flow, right? Because again, I'm sitting here going, I want to make this so easy, so easy. We've got people here with us today, Beth, who are on 2030, people who are on Listen to Your Body, and some people on here who aren't members at all. And well, quite honestly, if somebody just wants to learn how to cook in a really easy fashion, fast, quick, delicious, they could use this, right? And that's
Absolutely.
my goal, is just to bless and serve everybody that we get to encounter. So I think we're going to flip it. I think we're going to say the plan step is, what food do you want to prepare? Then what recipes can you eat? And what I was telling Beth in our preparation times for this call, guys, is I said, look, you're so good at this. She's so good at this. It's instinctual for her. We teach you guys that with the lifestyle acronym. You really can learn instinct for food, education, and success training you live every day. And once you learn it and it's instinct, you don't think about it. It's instinct. So Beth goes, okay, she goes, I'm just trying to get my head around the breakdown of this because I just do it. And I said, well, the goal is to help everybody be able to just do it, just like you do. So this is a system that we're teaching that's very simple. And I really do believe that we should put food before recipe. So in the planning stage, Beth would have said, okay, I had ground turkey I made yesterday. Today I have chicken. So she picked her food. And then she said, well, what recipes do I want to make from the chicken? She thought about all the recipes she could make. Again, if there was a list, that'd be awesome. And she'd look through the list and she'd go, oh, okay, so under chicken, here are all the recipes I could make. I choose these 2. So, you know, she's choosing the 2 that have the same seasonings, so that she can jump to step 2, which is prep and cook. She can prep it with the seasonings that she's sharing with you guys right now, and then she can cook it. So after she cooks it, she goes to step 3, which is the complete phase. She gets to enjoy it, to eat it, it's decadent, it's delicious, and then she goes into a lot. So today, this particular day, whatever this is this week for you, because remember, we've given you 2 recipes now. If you've got ground turkey, or if not, run and grab some. You can make an amazing taco salad tonight for dinner. Tomorrow for lunch, you're going to have an incredible stuffed tomato filled with that delicious taco seasoning flavored meat. And then tomorrow evening, you could make chicken breast. You can sit down tomorrow evening and have this succulent baked chicken and an asparagus meal. And then when you're done having that meal, you can go ahead and allot for your next meal, which, Beth, is?
We are going to have the orange chicken salad. This is one of my favorites. I can just take that chicken breast that's left and slice it, and then mix up the orange citrus dressing if you don't already have it mixed up in your fridge, because a lot of us make it ahead of time and you just have a bottle of it or a container of it, right? So the most simple way to do a salad like this is have your greens, and again, you can have any kind of lettuce on the plan. So taking whatever you like most, slicing up that chicken, and then peeling an orange. Now, if you've just made the citrus dressing, you're going to have an orange because you needed a couple tablespoons of fresh squeezed orange juice. So then you segment the orange, maybe slice a cucumber and put it in there. You've got your chicken, you've got your greens, you've got your dressing, you've got your orange for that bright pop of flavor, and you're getting a fruit in as well. And this is like a 5-minute meal, not even. It's going to take you more time to take the stuff out of the fridge and maybe cut the chicken than anything. So it's a really fast way to have, and you could even have it prepped and in your fridge where you just got it together and you just have to put the dressing on it. So super simple, and it's especially if it's like a warm weather day, this one's really super refreshing.
So following our system, step number 1 is plan, and we just flip-flopped them. So we said plan the food, plan the recipe. So now, Beth, we're at one of our members' houses, and we open the fridge or the freezer to see what they have in there, and what is the next food that they have in there.
We have a steak.
We have steak. So we found the steak. That is planning the food. Now remember, the food is only going to be used one time. You only need one food, one protein, one. And then we think about what 2 recipes would I like to enjoy from this food. Because again, when you get into the recipe, that indicates your prep phase. You're prepping the food, the seasoning, whatever. So we found a steak. Our food's going to be steak. And Beth, the 2 recipes that we're going to enjoy here, one is simple seared steak and onions. And what's the next recipe, just out of curiosity? Steak salad.
Yum, another salad, because salads are really great for lunch, especially on the go. So, and this was me last night. Like, I had thought of steak. And so this is exactly what I did last night. So you're just kind of getting a little peek into my last night while my husband was mowing the lawn. So
she calls him her sous chef, by the way. We were on the phone talking about it. She goes, my sous chef was mowing the lawn, so I had to do this myself.
There wasn't much to cut. But yeah, he cuts all the vegetables, like gives him something to do. He really enjoys it. And he's working on his knife skills. So, but I had this steak. It was really great. This was a porterhouse because we bought part of a cow. So, and I just took the steak. I used a mallet to tenderize. That's going to break down the just the fibers of the meat. So if you're, depending on what kind of meat you're working with or what kind of cut of steak, sometimes they can be a little tough. So using a mallet or meat tenderizer to break that down is the best way to really get a nice tendered steak. And then a couple onions and a little bit of beef broth. Then take your either cast iron skillet, or I just used, this time I just used a regular nonstick pan. And I got the pan hot and then threw down the steak to get a sear. Now we want that sear on there because that's going to bring a lot of flavor, right? So you get the sear on the meat, let it cook for about 5 minutes, and then flip and sear on the other side. Now, adding a little bit of low sodium beef broth to that once you get the sear, that's going to get a really deep flavor. So it's going to pick up the bits on the bottom, and it's going to add a little bit more. So get that beef broth in there. Again, this is something where you're going to watch your meat temperature. So if you want like a medium steak, don't correct me if I'm like, this is just how I do it. So I get it up to 150. That's the way I like my steak. So it's got a nice pink middle and it's pretty tender. I then, while it's cooking, I'm going to throw in some chopped onion. That's going to deepen the flavor of the broth and all the steak juices. And I allow that to cook down till the onions are more translucent. They're getting brown now because of the broth and the meat juices. So now you have the steak. For me, it's up to 150 degrees. I'm gonna take it out of the pan. I'll leave the onions in there a little while yet to cook, but when the steak is done, then I set it out to let it rest. So all those juices stay in there. Now you've got your onions and steak, and you're ready to use that to eat tonight, but also to allot for your next day, because we always can use that meat in something the next day that's really yummy but fast.
Amazing. Look, I have to tell you, I know that for the last several weeks, and those members that are new, you that are new or new to our group, maybe not even a member, you have seen Beth and I have these interchanges now for the last several weeks. What you don't know is that there are master classes, believe it or not, that aren't Beth and I. But we've done so many now, Beth, for so many weeks in a row. And while you're busy doing this, I'm kind of watching the group, right, to see the comments. And I know when we have another guest, you're watching the group, right? So we take turns. We're a good team. This is on fire, lady. I mean, people just love, love, love the recipes. We had one absolutely gorgeous member say, Donna, you need to let Beth talk. Because they so love this content. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So again, guys, just really, really remember that once you pick that one food and you pick a couple recipes, the prep of the food itself, not the recipe, but the prep of the food itself is it's exact. There's nothing different. You're prepping for tonight's meal and tomorrow's lunch. So the glory of it is it doesn't take a long time. You get 2 delicious meals out of it, and it's simple and easy to do. So what Beth is showing you right here in front of you is that simple seared steak and onions recipe. But when she preps the steak, the seasoning and the cooking of it, it's identical. It doesn't become the recipe really until the cooking part is kind of near completion, right, Beth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we've cooked our steak. Tonight for dinner, whatever tonight is, whatever day it happens to be, we're having this glorious seared steak and onions. Look, I got to tell you guys a secret. Lisa Vermillion is here with me because her husband Mike's family lives close. And Mike went home and Lisa decided to stay because we're doing some work together. I'm looking at these recipes going, we are going to the grocery store. I'm like, we're not going to Cranberry tonight. We are going to the grocery store and we're going to make some of these meals because this is so easy and it sounds so delicious. So Beth, we've got our steak for that meal, tonight's meal, whatever day it is. We've enjoyed seared steak and onions. And now we're going to take the rest of the steak after we've eaten our delicious meal and enjoyed it with people we love. And we're going to go ahead and prep tomorrow's lunch. Tell us about that.
Okay. And just so you guys know, Donna reined me in. I could come up with like tons of this stuff, which I know eventually we're going to give you access to my brain with lots of recipes because this is how I live. So, but I just really like to take the leftover the allotted food and use it the next day. And I love refreshing salads. So taking that salad and throwing in some cucumbers, some cherry tomatoes, depending on where you're at in the program, or, free reign if you're not on the program as far as veggies go. But that steak salad with some basics and the classic vinaigrette dressing is just really perfect to give you a good protein, not something heavy that is gonna kind of slow you down, and lots of flavor. So take that seared steak. You can warm it up if you want. I have a chef friend who one of his most popular salads actually comes with hot steak on top of it. So it's a nice cold salad with a hot steak. You don't have to eat cold steak. Get it warmed up, get the flavor, and then throw it together. In this case, you're talking about a minute or two. Again, this is one of those, get it out of the fridge, throw it together, and you've got lunch or dinner, depending, really fast.
All right, so here we go. Now, I know you guys are paying attention. You have prepared 6 meals already. 6 completely, totally different meals from each other. You have prepared them in basically a 20-minute time segment each day. Now, this time segment is typically done when you're ready to cook your dinner, right? But if you are one of those crock pot people or slow cooker people, we'll get in later into recipes that you could slow cook. Now, we all know, well, outside of a thin fish, you kind of can slow cook anything. So if you really want to slow it down, do it in the morning, there are ways to do it. But as Beth and I decided what we wanted to share, we just decided that, at the end of the workday or the end of the day where you're taking care of your children, your grandchildren, when, whatever your primary responsibility is, that you can invest that time in yourself where you're putting something together that is creating art, delicious art that is so good for you, that produces weight loss and wellness and helps you be full and fully alive. So you have 6. You have 6 meals already. I know you guys have to be doing what Lisa and I are doing. We're like, this all sounds amazing, and I want to cook all of it. And what's exciting for me, Donna Cratch, is that I don't have to invest 4.5 hours on a Sunday to get this done. So, Beth, plan step. We've got to plan the food. Pick one. What food are we planning for the next 2 meals?
We have shrimp.
Shrimp, yum. And what 2 recipes are we choosing to prepare from the one food shrimp?
Well, my first one is actually with cucumbers. Shrimp and cucumber noodles is
oh man, that sounds amazing.
one of my favorites. The other one is I like to do, and it's still cucumbers, but it's completely different. It's a cucumber and shrimp kind of like appetizer. I don't know, like you can use it as a meal, but it's a little different. I do a lot of shrimp salad, so I know I'm salading you guys a lot, but when you do the shrimp with the seasoning, everybody typically has had Old Bay seasoning, so this is kind of our version of it. So you've got a little bit of a spicy shrimp. The thing with shrimp is it's really fast to cook, even from frozen. So if you get some wild caught shrimp, Trader Joe's has a nice one, and you do the seafood seasoning, you can also, and I'm going to throw a little idea at you, you can take some horseradish and make our ketchup recipe, and now you've got like a cocktail sauce. So there's a couple of things that you can do with that, and it really is just the shrimp and the spices. And you can also do a zoodle. So you're just going to get your, if you have a zoodler appliance, if not, you can do like a shredded cucumber. I always like to use the English cucumber because you don't have a waxy skin on it, and you also don't have a lot of big seeds. So for people who are paying attention to their, listening to their body, a just kind of regular cucumber can give a little gastrointestinal distress, possibly because of the seeds, and a hot house or English cucumber typically doesn't. But spiralizing your sauteed shrimp and spiralizing your cucumbers and putting in your sauteed shrimp is where you can just do the shrimp and the cucumbers, or you can add in the sweet hot dressing, which is going to give you more of that kind of kind of salady feel. But this can also be with the, throw them on a salad. So in preparation for this, I didn't get my full second shrimp recipe in, aside from I love shrimp and cucumbers. So somebody, I bet somebody out there could probably come up with and submit to me some other ideas that they're doing with shrimp as well. I mean, aside from like a nice garlicky shrimp on a salad, or just garlic shrimp and maybe some garlic asparagus or something.
I mean, I know you're saying, Beth, that, well, I don't mean to salad you guys to death, but I love salads. Look, just looking at this, Looks amazing. I mean, I love this kind of stuff. And I know, guys, you know that if you've got quote unquote salad, AKA boring, just lettuce in front of you, or gosh, if you get real adventurous and, throw a tomato on there, I'm saying sarcastically, it can get boring. But when you've got a salad that's got an amazingly flavored shrimp and another one that's got an amazingly flavored steak and another one that's got an amazingly flavored chicken, you have a completely different experience. Some of them are on a form of lettuce. Some of them are on cucumber noodles. Like it's not quote unquote boring salad. So really, if you've got the sweet hot dressing, you've got the shrimp that you prepared the day before, and you've got cucumber noodles, you've got something pretty decadent, pretty unusual, pretty AKA not boring. So we've just gone through and prepared 8 different meals, right, Beth? Or wait, do we have the 8th one yet? Did we do the 8th one?
Remember, that's where I said I failed to do that second shrimp where I had a picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Way to point out my failure again.
Not even close to a failure. These PowerPoints are like, again, this stuff's amazing. So you can literally take shrimp, guys, and make just a meal out of that too. Like shrimp can be your meat, and then you've got your sides. So it's really just a matter of the things that you, again, the recipes, there are 2. For the food, there's 1 that you want to prepare for a couple of meals. So 8, and I noticed that Lisa said in the group, and I was thinking the same thing, because Beth at one point said, you've got your small Pyrex container, you've got 1 chicken breast for the day and 1 that you're going to prep for tomorrow. Lisa says, gosh, you can double it. So now you've got for you and your love, right, your significant other, and then you've got 2 for the future. 4 if you have a family. I know that sometimes we hear people saying, well, I still have to go buy the things at the store my family wants. When we were talking about perimeter shopping, we were talking about that, right? No, you don't. No, you don't. You are the person in charge. You're the person that loves your family so much that you're creating healthy eating. What they really want is delicious food. They don't want something that tastes like cardboard. They don't want something that's difficult to eat. They want something they'll enjoy. And what we have heard more times than I can count is that the family and or the significant other and or the guest says, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Have you ever made this before? This is so good. And they have no idea that you have shifted into a real healthy way of eating. And be careful not to use the words diet foods or diet recipes, because people kind of put up their wall, right? And the alarms go off. You're just learning how to eat so healthy. You're learning how to eat stuff that's delicious. You're learning how to cook. And as we've talked about now in several master classes, you're getting that chemical coating off your tongue. So your taste buds really do come back to life. I mean that literally. Your taste buds come back to life. Yeah. And so they enjoy those flavors. So we do have an offer to make to you guys that we've talked about a little bit during today's class. Beth and I have shared a lot of time together over the years. And quite honestly, in the last few weeks, we've shared a lot of time together, which has been an amazing gift and blessing to me. And as we've processed through, how can we help our member the most? How can we help even somebody who hasn't become our member? How can we serve people the most? How can we help our licensee to help their member, their community, the person who's thinking about enrolling on their program? How can we serve everybody? So that's why I shared with you guys that 3stepmealprep.com is a place that anybody you love, anybody you care about, you can send them to. They're going to be able, again, to tell us who they are. They're going to be able to watch this. They can just watch it. And they can get involved in a lot of our master classes. Now, I do have a little secret to tell you guys. We opened up the 20 pounds in 30 days fast track plan group, and we may be closing it, and we may have these domain names, right? These websites like 3stepmealprep.com that we still allow people into all the information as far as master classes go, but we may close the group down. So if you know somebody, to people who aren't members. So if you know somebody who you really think would benefit from all these master classes, definitely tell them to get in, because I think I'm really going to make this decision within the next week or 2 whether I'm going to close the group down to only members again. So again, if you know somebody you think would benefit from this, get them in the group. 3stepmealprep.com is where you can send your friends if you think they'd benefit from this. And what Beth and I have to offer you today is we decided to put together the 30 meals that I was referring to. And we're going to break it down in the steps that I told you about. So there's going to be food categories, right? So chicken, steak, roast, this fish, that fish, chicken, shrimp, like it's all going to be broken down, ground turkey, ground beef, by food first. Because plan, the first step is choose your food, right? So it will say food. And then underneath that kind of food, step 2 is choose your recipe. It'll have all the names of all these different recipes you could make from chicken. All these recipes you could make from ground beef. All these recipes you could make from roast. All these recipes you could make from shrimp. They'll be listed. So step 1 will be easy. What food do I want to choose? Step 2 will be easy. What 2 recipes? What 2 names of these recipes sound good? But guess what we're going to do? In step 2, where it says prep and cook, we're going to categorize these so the right seasoning recipes are right next to each other. So you won't even have to think about it. Like you're not going to have to go choose 2 recipes and go, gosh, do they have the same seasonings? We'll put those recipes next to each other so you'll just know those 2 sound good. And you don't have to think about it, the seasoning's the same because the seasonings will be the same. That's like my favorite part of this whole thing. I don't have to think about it. So what food do I want to choose? You'll look under food. What 2 recipes do I want? You'll look at the names of the recipes. When you get to the process phase, which is prepping, you'll just look at the 2 names of recipes that sound good to you because the seasonings will already be there, all ready for you, what to use, how to make it, so you can prep. So you can get that meat out and you can prep that and you can cook it. And how to cook it, of course, will be there because the exact recipe that you need in order to prepare that dish will be there as well. And then finally, well, we don't have a lot of training for you on how to eat it because we figure you probably have that part down. Eat and enjoy. And well, we might have a little training on how to garnish the plate, make it really a special setting, maybe. I kind of dig stuff like that. But then we will have the training on how to allot it. Meaning, do you put it in a singular container or can you go ahead and make the next meal? That part will be very fast and very simple. Now, here's a really cool piece of information. This will be put together for you and it will be emailed to you. So all you have to do is click a link and whatever time you want to watch this and learn, you can. So it might be on a Monday, it might be a Tuesday, it might be a weekend. But whenever you watch and allot, you're going to have 8 meals. So you're going to have, when we're done, not 30 meals, 32 meals. That all you have to do, if you want, is just watch that particular segment and you've got that 2 meals, that 2-meal plan ready to go. Now, the investment, because this is not the masterclass, this is not our free masterclass, this is a product, if you will, a training product that you would purchase for yourself is only $69. And the $69 is $2.30 a day for the training for yourself to be able to do this forever. Now, you know, if you guys give us feedback and go, look, I'm loving this, I just want this forever, we'll consider it. But right now, we're starting with 30 meals because we really believe that once you get in the rhythm of this, you'll go, oh my gosh, I've got this 3-step system down in my head. I've got plan. I know I'm repeating it. I'm doing this on purpose. Plan. Choose my food. There's 1. Choose my recipes. There are 2. So now you're going to be able to go to that food. You're going to be able to look under the food. You're going to look at the names of the recipes, and whichever 2 you pick that are side by side, the seasoning is going to be the same. We're going to have already done that work for you. So now when you get to step 2, which is process, so that's prep, you're going to choose those 2, go to the recipe, which will be totally laid out for you, and you're going to do your prep work. Then you're going to do the cooking, which is also going to be explained on how to do that. Then you take that out and you're going to garnish it. You're going to put that side dish with it. We're going to help you with how to do that. And you eat and enjoy. And then finally, last, we're going to tell you exactly how to allot it. Should I put it away singularly? Should I go ahead and mix up the dish for the next time? So we'll have some bonuses as well. And that will be that we're going to open up some private Q&A some private time with Beth and I so that you guys can ask any question you want to ask. I mean, if you decide, look, I'm at the grocery store, I'm not quite sure what to buy. Did she say English cucumber? Did she say Australian cucumber? Did she say Georgian cucumber? I'm making it up.
Really?
She's like, you're crazy. What are you talking about, Australian cucumber? You might not remember English cucumber. So you can get us questions when you're at the grocery. You can ask us questions when you're, or jot down the question when you're cooking. I mean, whatever questions you want to ask us, we're going to open up. We're going to put a bonus in here of an interactive Q&A so that, you know, it's going to be kind of fun. We're going to kind of have this interactive cooking experience amongst friends. I mean, I would encourage you to get a wine glass and put some Zevia in there and, you know, have that lemon available. And, you know, who knows? I mean, we could make all kinds of new friends doing this. So again, it's $69. It's $2.30 a day. As I shared with you guys, Lisa's here. I know she and Mike love Starbucks. So when she sat down, I said, how much is the Starbucks coffee that you drink? She goes, well, if you drink plain, it's only a couple dollars. I said, do you drink plain? She says, no. She said, I drink a fancy one. I said, okay, how much is a Starbucks coffee? She said, about $5. So guys, a Starbucks coffee is $5 for $2.30 a day. Wow, that's inexpensive to learn how to have 3-step meal prep that doesn't require 4.5 hours a day, that results in food that is anything but boring. All of this is laid out for you exactly how to do it. It's going to be video, just like you're seeing here, with all the pieces that go with it that I've described to you, that you can watch anytime you want. I would even encourage you not to watch it all at once, but watch today's 2 recipes. Tomorrow, watch those 2 recipes. All you'll need to do is just make sure you have the food, which we're going to have shared with you what it is ahead of time. And then you've got that interactive bonus where you can ask any question you want, and we'll answer that question for you. So to avail yourself of this product, you're going to go to 3-step meal prep training. So remember, your friends can go to 3-step meal prep to watch this masterclass. If you want to avail yourself of the product, you're going to go to 3stepmealpreptraining.com right now. 3stepmealpreptraining.com. And for only $69, $2.30 a day, we're going to come together. And we're all going to cook together and have a great time, and even the interactive questions. So Bethy, do you have anything that you want to add that you feel like I left out or I didn't drive home enough?
No, I think that's good. I just, somebody said, let Beth talk. This will be into getting into my head. So if Donna and I together are a great team, I feel like we're going to be in her kitchen a lot. And I can't wait to share what we know with you guys.
So again, guys, go to 3-step meal prep, the number 3stepmealpreptraining.com. You'll be able to avail yourself of that very, very low investment of $69 to have some cooking buddies with you and all the recipes done and all the food chosen and all the seasoning laid out for you for 32 meals. That's pretty cool, right? We'll see you guys next week at the masterclass, and we'll see you on the inside with 3-step meal prep training. Bye-bye.
It's going to be fun.